hey, you should do this. You should try my way. You're doing it wrong. Why would you do that like that? These are all things I've said in the past to my husband, mostly, probably my sisters, hopefully not my friends. Usually the people that are closest to us will get me in the most unfiltered way. It is one of my greatest areas for growth in my personal life, to let people have their journey, right? To try it their way, to do things the way that they want to do them. And it's so easy for me in business. And like I said, it's been an area of growth in my personal life. I will still, to this day, hey Lily, I will still to this day think that my husband is doing things wrong. You know, let me know if you're watching live or on the replay, if somebody that you've lived with has loaded the dishwasher wrong, you know, has put laundry away wrong, incorrectly. According to who? Well, you, of course, right? The ways that you're most comfortable doing things. It's true. You might have more expertise and more experience. And the person that has made these mistakes might be well served by taking some notes from you and trying it your way. But there's also just as much opportunity for you to maybe learn and examine from them. And maybe, just maybe, they have some things you could learn from as well. Or maybe you're never going to agree on the right way to load the dishwasher. My ways work for me. And for some of the things, they would work really great for other people too. And that's why I love to share. I think information sharing is amazing. But I had to learn, and I'm still working on it with my family members and my kids and my husband, that help that's not wanted is not helpful at all. In business, we hear this all the time as well, right? People are saying like, do you want to know how to get 10 new clients, or do this one trick and make your $10,000 months in the coaching industry where I am? And it doesn't account for people's journeys. It doesn't account for the nuance, for people's styles. And we will get sucked in by this, and let me know if this has ever been you or someone is sharing, do what I did to lose weight, grow your business, find love, and do exactly what I did, and you will have success too. And it doesn't work. Why doesn't it work? It's almost as though we all have these really unique backgrounds and experiences and styles, and it's not a one-size-fits-all solution, pretty much for anything, including loading the dishwasher, right? There are things that we must do in certain orders, but there's also a lot of room for exploration and for style. And again, my personal journey is mostly in my personal life of looking at something that somebody, my poor husband, I'm going to call him out a few times in this, does, where I'm like, why would you do it that way when it's very obviously easiest and most effective to do it in this particular way? Like, when it comes to almost anything, I can be so pedantic about things, and it's not fair to him. But for some reason, when I'm looking at helping people build businesses, I never take that kind of authoritarian approach. I'm like, well, here's what worked for me. Pull out what you'd like from this model, this template, and try it on. If it doesn't work, that's fine. Then you've just got information. If you want to take what I'm doing as a template and then shift it, change it, put your own pieces into it, weave it, alchemize it, I'm like, go ahead, do that. That's what I want people to do. I want people to take the things that I share with them in business and coaching and in my academy where I'm teaching people how to run their businesses, to take what I have and then make it better, make it their own, make it fit for them. That's really, really easy for me to do in business. It's still a growth area for me in my personal life. So let me know if I'm the only person who maybe sometimes thinks that they're the authority on the things. The little things like, this is how you put the laundry away. This is how you fold the towels. When in reality, it doesn't actually matter. There's certainly some times where it might be more effective. Everybody has these unique designs. Everybody has these unique blueprints. And they're going to move through life in a different way, and they're going to see things, read things, experience things in different ways than you. A great example of this is I just recently learned that people do not read an image of words on a triangle the same way as me. You may, if we are Facebook friends, have seen this post. I posted an image of my evolutionary alchemy system, where the steps are to transform first, transform whatever's in the way, the density, then activate a connection to spirit, to yourself, to your heart, to divinity, and then embody that energy. So for me, the triangle has activate, transform, activate, embody. I just assumed people read right to left because that's how we read words, right? Right to left, obviously. It wasn't until my beautiful friend and visionary integrator, Nicole, who works with me for this academy and does a lot of design work and everything, was like, I don't understand why it's at the top, why transform is not at the top, because that's the first step. And I was like, well, why would it be at the top? Because that would be the second step. And she explained, oh, she reads it from top down. And I was like, it didn't even occur to me that somebody's eyes would go to the top of the triangle first. Because I'm not in their head. I can't see what they see. I don't know what they are pulling out of this world when they're looking at an image or life circumstances or like the political climate, right? We can't see what people see. It was this aha moment for me going, wow. So we're like, okay, let's ask the Facebook hive mind. Guys, what way do you read this? Do you read it top down or do you read it left to right? And there was a third option we hadn't even considered. People are like, oh yeah, I read it from the top and then I go around clockwise. I should have grabbed this image to show you, but it was like, they'd go transform, embody, activate. And I'm like, well, that's not even an option in my mind that I would have even conceived of. And then there was someone that's saying that they just see them all at once. So this is evidence that we can look at the exact same image, the exact same paper, and the order is different. What we pull out of it is different. The meaning of it is different. So we can't assume anything about how someone's going to interpret our information, how they're going to see the world. And so, of course, the way that you do something is not going to necessarily work for them because they're literally built different, right? So when we try to create that authority and be like, do it my way because my way is the best way, we are denying the existence of this multifaceted, really intricate experience that every human has of their interaction with the world and themselves and how different it is from how everyone else experiences the world. We could get really metaphysical and really weird when you start to think of like, well, okay, well, I call this color, but are they even, and they call that color, but are we seeing it the same way? Probably not. The rods and cones in our eyes are probably actually filtering it differently. And that's why my way of loading the dishwasher is not going to be the right way for you to load the dishwasher or to hand do the dishes, right? For me, glasses go first, cutlery and then pots and pans go last. Some people do it the opposite way, and we'll get so strongly connected to our way is the right way that we forget that other people's experiences are valid, right? So when you're looking at the way people are navigating through the world and you're saying, I really love what they're doing. I want to try that on. By all means, try it on, right? Take their templates, take their example, pull the coding that you need out of their field and try it on, but do not expect it to fit, right? We get to tailor every single model, template, experience to what's going to work for us. We have to, right? To get a good fit. When I share in my Radiant Evolution Academy different templates for people to use in their business, like working with the elemental forces of creation as an archetypal template for the holographic reality, as above, so below, as within, so without, I'm saying take this template and learn it, use it for yourself, and then have your own experiences with it so you can share it to people with your own tones and your own voice, and you can create experiences for them to interact with it under their own sort of lensing and their own experiences too, instead of forcing people to fit it in. So templates and systems like working with the elements, or working with the evolutionary alchemy system that I have, transform, activate, embody. It's just that. It's a template that you can try on and use in a way that feels good for you. They get to be general, and we get to be alchemists as well, right? And sure, you might have new ideas coming through that are unique to you, but I bet you 99.99% of what you bring through intuitively, creatively into the world is a fusion of ideas that already exist, and you're putting it together in new ways based on your experiences and what works for you. And that's freaking awesome. So what if we stop trying to copy other people and make their solutions fit into our beingness, and instead started to think about modeling it, using them as a model, pulling out the information and codes because they're where you want to be, or they have something that you want to learn or do, and say, what can I extract from this that is for me, that's going to feel really good? Now, I'm speaking very generally. I'm speaking from a coaching background and facilitation background, that kind of thing. I'm not talking about like mathematics and things like that, where maybe, or surgery, where perhaps the order in which you do things is going to be more important and there might be more rules. But even in those spaces, there is room for creativity, and that's where innovation happens, right? When we are taking something that somebody has, using that model, that template, that experience, and then going, what would fit even better for me? What can I put in that's unique to me and make it fit? And then we get to share that with the world, right? And the next person's going to come along and go, oh yeah, I love this, but here's another piece of the puzzle. Here's a different perspective. And what we're doing when we're doing this is creating a more well-rounded version. Sometimes, we might make things into different shapes. But I think as a whole, Team Humanity, as we go through things, as we go through life, as we evolve and grow and co-create with each other, we're adding to the sophistication and the innovation all of the time. We're taking up where someone left off and we're adding the new stuff in. And it's a form of alchemy, right? To add in our own energy. And that's what happens when things wind up splitting off as well, right? It might be that this model that was originally up here, the original template, worked for some people, but then not for others. And then people took their own, and it wound up being two different things that were created, right? They can split off, they can move around, you can invent something totally new, or you might be just shifting and changing what it is already. But it doesn't have to be copying. When you're taking somebody's method of losing weight, gaining clients, building a business, finding love, loading the dishwasher, what if we could give ourselves permission to use these models, use these examples, and put our own energy into them, right? And let that be okay. And let that be sort of part of the process. there are so many people that I work with that get really hung up on how it has to be perfect. Let me know if that's ever come through for you, where you're like, oh, this person does it this way. I don't think I can do it that way, so I just shouldn't try. And then that perfection cock blocks them from actually making maybe something magical and something new and putting their own codes into it and creating something different. Like, I don't think we came here to copy people. I don't think we did. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think we came here to copy people. I think most of us came here during this time to be alchemists, to be creator beings who are co-creating and working together and taking everybody's pieces of the puzzle and digesting it and creating like the wisdom, right? Like you gotta bring it in and really digest it for yourself and understand it, and then be like, yeah, here's my part. Maybe it's a different color, maybe it's a different shape, maybe it is a different way of doing dishes altogether. Innovation. And some people will look at that new way of doing dishes and go, this is what I've been waiting for. Thank you for this piece of the puzzle. You think I'm joking with these examples? There was a beautiful woman that I met through TikTok named Casey Davis, who is a therapist and an author, and she goes by Domestic Blisters on TikTok. You should follow her if you aren't already following her. And she talks about how mess is morally neutral, and she helps people, especially people who have trouble with caretaking tasks, do them without all the judgment and the fear. And she has innovated dishwashing. Man, she has made it work for her. She did something really cool, and she actually bought a second utensil rack for her dishwasher, left it up on the counter so that as the day is going and she's using dishes, she'd put the dirty ones into that rack that was up on the counter. And then at the end of the day, when she was running her dishwasher, she would first have to like unpack the dishwasher, and then she would put from the counter the other rack. It worked for her. Is it something that I want to do? No, I've got a different system. But there were people that saw that and were like, this is life-changing innovation. You just changed everything for me. Right? She does the same thing with dirty dishes and some of the racks just up on the counter so it doesn't look so messy and it doesn't pile up in the sink. The little things and how we work with them and how we innovate with them can turn into the big things, right? So I'm just not exactly sure why I had to go on this tirade today, but there is just this energy of feeling like we're not enough if we can't do something the way other people do it, right? Because we're trying to copy them. What if that wasn't the point at all? Right? What if that was never the point? And we were just here to do it our way. And we could use everybody else's example as just that. A model, a template, an example that you could pull the information that you need from and weave it into something beautiful and new, right? Go forth and be an alchemist in your life, in your business, in how you do dishes, right? It never has to be something static. You can always play with it, let it shift and change and grow. And note to myself, I'm gonna really try to stop judging the way my husband does dishes, even if it's not the way that I would do it, because we are very different people. And we came here to challenge each other to see things from a larger perspective, right? Your way works for you, my way works for me, and as long as it's not hurting somebody else, we can just let it be. Beautiful souls. Let's go be alchemists. Let's go have some fun. And I feel like I'm done. Little rhyme coming in. That's totally fine. I will send you all of my love and be back tomorrow. This is a fun day 16. I'm already 16 days into this 365 Live challenge. And I'm just wishing you a beautiful day.